Green Lantern War Journal issue 11, Philip Kennedy Johnson writing with Montos on the art. And let me see if I've got this right. So this is the penultimate issue, right? Let me see if I've got this right.
You have got that right.
Well, not that part.
I mean, you were right.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'll accept it. Yes, you can tell me I'm right. But, so, right. So, Olgrun, this ancient god of gods, whatever you want to call him, right? I think it was niece, is the queen of the radiant dead, right? And because he was tricked into killing her, that basically left him in like a rage, and that willpower effectively created a new universe, and that's what Olgrun's will comes from. And the niece is like spreading the dark energy of the radiant. She's the revenant queen. That's what I got from this issue.
Yeah, the queen Anja has become the radiant queen because the way that he was manipulated by the dark forces into killing her has led to her becoming the opposite of Olgrun's will.
I feel that this 12-issue book is going to read phenomenally in collection when you can read, because the biggest problem is starting this issue and I'm like, okay, we're in. Where are we right now? Who are these people? Why are they? What's all these names?
It drops you right in it as well. Like there's no like lead up with any of the Shirley stuff, for example, which is the more, I mean, more grounded stuff, relatively speaking,
more normal.
But it's just right in the deep. But do you know what it reminds me of the most? I know you guys don't really read it, but it reminds me of the Grant Morrison Green Lantern stuff, especially the second half of the run where shit got weird. It reminds me a lot of that.
So I can follow it. It's just remembering what I'm following, because I like to think that as we were doing this month to month, we were pretty good at resetting and remembering, and at least me and Pete were able to talk things out and make sense of it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it feels like there's 2 months between these and there wasn't, right?
No.
And the way that he drops you in, and I'm trying to remember all the lore that's involved up to this point, and it's very difficult.
A nice little recap page would have done wonders for this book, I think. But, I mean, I will say, I like this issue quite a bit, and I think once the lore started to make a bit more sense, as it felt like it was coming together, and how Olgrun and the Revenant Queen were connected, I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty interesting. I'd forgotten that John had went into this, and he's like, because he's like basically inhabiting the brother, right? Like, and he's or he's maybe Olgrun himself, actually, I don't know, but
he's taking the form of Olgrun with this dark star energy,
and he's basically experiencing all this, and we're learning this. So, but by the time actually all was coming together, and I was sort of making sense of what it was saying about these characters, I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty interesting, especially since this Olgrun stuff is, you know, obviously going all the way back into War World and all that. And then we go to Earth, and we go to the tower, and Steele and Natasha are trying to get in, whereas the green daughter, if you will, is like protecting the grandmother, or the mother, sorry, and and just basically running from this like supernatural force that's coming after him, and it's lots of beautiful art. Obviously, the green really pops against all the purple and black that's kind of surrounding them. But ultimately, it all builds up to this couple of things. One, that she reveals that she's kind of known that it's not really a daughter that's back, that she's, in a way, she's kind of went along with it because she thinks it makes John happy that he's making her happy. And it's like, okay, that's oddly sweet given that he's doing this to make you happy. So so
there's a little happiness feedback loop going on here.
Yeah, kind of. But then the other thing is this idea that John always thought the ring should have went to her instead of him, because he always sort of saw her as his hero, as someone who fought for people, as someone who...
and that she had the willpower to be the civil rights activist, and that's what I like, that panel in the middle there where we're always picking her up, and then it's between the dog tags of John, and you see the stuff that she had done, right?
And you see her getting her police photo taken when she was presumably arrested for protests,
for standing up for what she believed in, and that's John. That's where John gets that from, right?
Yeah. So it gets to this point where, okay, the construct's like, okay, I can't give you a ring, but I can effectively let your willpower drive me, and surrounds her. So we get kind of like I'm going to assume this is what she looked like when she was younger, because it's like sort of like, okay, you get to be a Green Lantern to fight this thing off for, one glorious day to save yourself, kind of thing. So I thought that was quite good. The art was really
good.
pretty
Definitely didn't get dusty as I was reading it this morning. You know.
Yeah. No, it was well done. They've been building up to this for quite some time. But yeah, obviously, basically, they think, you know, Olgrun and the Revenant Queen think that Jon Stewart's trapped now that he came into this, like, you know, the Dark Star or whatever. And he's like, oh no, I just wanted to come in here and sort of figure out what this place was and what's going on. And he just reveals that he can leave. He's like, I understand now. And he's just Jon Stewart again.
It's like, I love
he's like, I needed to see how the machine worked from the inside. Now I know. So see you guys later.
Yep. Bringing back in that architect background into it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it starts to sort of get unstable. There's rumblings, and it basically he's, you know, rebuilding. Like he's built like a globe, and he's like constructing. You can actually, if you look at this sort of construct that's around him, it is like building blueprints and like sketches and diagrams and stuff.
Yeah,
it's not just there's like you can see stuff like cathedrals and churches and stuff like that, but there's also like trees in there. There's all sorts. It's not just buildings.
It's stuff that is like sturdy, right? It's stability.
Yeah. So it's this big moment, and it's like, okay, right, he's finally going to like deal with Olgrun. He's going to deal with the Revenant Queen. Going to stop all this, and finally sees the what did they call it? The cathedral, the place where Olgrun's thing.
The Dark Star of the Fen. Right?
Necropolis. Necropolis.
The Necropolis.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah. He finds the necropolis and sort of sees it, and yeah, she's not very happy. The Revenant Queen is not happy about this at all, and wants to stop him, of course. And just of course, as we get to the end of the issue, we hear, you know, the contact, the ring starts perking up. Someone's talking to him, and of course, it's Guy Gardner and Lantern Shepherd finally arriving to help out. So it does
best Lantern on backup.
It does obviously set us up for the final issue. It feels like it's built up to it. It feels like we're here, and yeah, it feels like we're at that point of the story. It feels like we're getting to the ending. So which is good. It's good to feel that here. So yeah, that was very pretty. I mean, that page with the Necropolis is pretty gorgeous. Because it's
that one. I like the one before that too. The double page spread.
Oh sure, yeah.
Him coming out of it and kind of assembling everything back together.
Yeah, because he assembles really the Necropolis back together again. Cause it's all been smashed. When,
pieces.
When was it when Olgrun escaped that it smashed, or something else smashed it? Yeah. So yeah, I think the big thing with this is there's just so much goddamn mythology and lore that Johnson is packing into all this that I do think it's going to benefit. Like, I think reading Warworld Saga again and then this again and sort of a quicker succession is probably going to like really do a lot for all this stuff.
Like, I don't know why it keeps surprising me, but I forget just how much Johnson loves lore. So like, the first thing from DC I read was that
the Last God or the First God.
Yeah, which was like basically just
it's his D&D campaign.
It's a lore dump of a fantasy setting.
So this makes me wonder though, what aspect of Olgrun is going to show up in Batman and Robin, right? Because we have a pattern, you know, and I say that mostly in jest because at this point, Phillip Kennedy Johnson's written so many good things.
The vengeance of Olgrun will show up in Batman and Robin.
There we go. So we had the Fire of Olgrun, right? We have the will. So yeah, vengeance fits that kind of theme. These all-consuming things. But yeah, very, very good stuff. And then when we get to that last page, when because like with the stuff with the Necropolis and stuff, John looks kind of like the way that the light's going around him, it almost kind of washed them out, like the light's kind of blown out. But when Shepherd and Guy show up, everything becomes like crisp and clear again. Like the colors start to pop more vibrant.
His eyes start glowing.
Yeah, and his eyes start glowing, and so just a lot of fun coloring going on here with Montos. Or no, Adriana Lucas is the colorist. Just working overtime. But yeah, this book is fantastic.
Yeah. It's very, very good. All right. And obviously Montos's art. I mean, we've talked about a couple of the big pages, how detailed some of it is. The greens really popping against the purples and pinks that tend to be in the rest of the pages. And also worth mentioning, that's stuff that's kind of like the flashback almost that John's reliving as Ogrun to sort of learn about what the past is. That stuff looks so different from the rest of the book, you know? Color-wise, even line work-wise, it looks very, very different.
It's much more fantasy-based in a sci-fi book, right? Like, so it sticks out more because it's kind of so different.
I mean, yeah, when you go from like the first page to the second page, and you go to like it's actual Ogrun and the Revenant Queen with like half of her face ripped off. Like so the page before it's this young girl. It's very angelic, long blonde hair, and it's all bright and sunny, and the pastel colors.
I like how you can see the reality behind it and like the background.
Oh yeah,
on that first page.
Yeah, behind the circle and
behind
stuff.
the circle, yeah.
And then that next page, it's like no, the half the face is ripped off. This is the truth. This is the horror. They really contrast really nice to build a mood. So really good. All right, Matt, what are you rating Green Lantern War Journal?
I'm giving this a 9.
Whoa, Connor?
I'm gonna go an 8.5, which is still very, very good.
Yeah, I think I'm more in the 8.5 train, but yes, very, very good.